A lot of people just think that, oh yeah, you just jump in this, throw money in it, okay, next. No, there's a lot of other stuff. So again, that's for me, that's where the whole educational portion of it comes for me. You know, I don't want to just go over there and, oh yeah, I'm just gonna fix and flip this, or oh yeah, I want this, okay, cool. What next? You know?
Yeah.
Or if I sell it and then all of a sudden Uncle Sam's knocking on my door, oh yeah, you sold this house for this much, hey, right to that, give me my $150,000 you owe me. What?
Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Investing in Hawaii podcast, where we teach everyday people how to invest in real estate, gain financial freedom, and build generational wealth for them and their families.
Right here in Hawaii. My name is Fuzzy Jardine, and this is my co-host,
Zasha Smith.
This is my brother, Kalani. And we met him through a project that I was doing in Kailua with my friend Simote, but we just wanted to bring him on, and, you know, welcome you to the podcast, and I appreciate your time, man. Aloha.
Hello.
So, what is your background as far as, you know, real estate involved in your life?
I'm still a beginner in this, all of this. We just started getting into real estate investing last year. We were able to secure our first property at the end of the year last year, which was a huge help on the taxes. And it's hopefully the beginning of many. Of course, whole purpose behind that is, you know, first of all, time freedom. Hopefully generational wealth going forward. For me, it's also being able to retire and just not have to work anymore. I'm done. Like, you know, when I'm done working, I'm done working. I don't want to go to Walmart and be sticking stickers on little kids anymore. I'm done working. So, and those are some of my whys of why I wanted to do it. Again, still early in the business, learning a lot from Fuzzy and Zasha and what they're offering, different strategies to work with. This one we just went over was through tax deed auctions, and another opportunity for other people that might not have that much capital to hopefully secure some kind of property here in Hawaii, which we all know is very hard to acquire.
What is your background, or what do you do now for work?
So I'm a construction electrician, been with the IBEW for 21 years now. And it's a great field. Don't get it twisted. I mean, I like what I do. I love what I do. It's a good trade. But, you know, as you get older, the body starts to break down. And being out there in the field, it does wear on you. And also even being in the office side of it, it also is wears on the brain. So like I said, when I'm done work, I want to be done at work.
Yeah. Right on. So, I mean, you married and stuff, like you and your wife, you guys invest in outer state property, you said?
So the one that we did acquire is in Oklahoma City. And like I said, it was something that we were able to acquire through another company. But ultimately, we want to invest here in our own home. So hopefully, you know, be able to provide homes that are needed for local people, and also for, you know, our children going forward. As you know, we pass on, they have some kind of property here in their home of Hawaii, and having that option to be able to stay here at home in Hawaii. I know a lot of people up in the mainland that live up there, not by choice. They had to move away because, I ain't gonna lie, it's expensive as hell to live here in Hawaii. But the two of them have shown us that it is possible for us to still live here and still afford it. So that's why my wife and I have joined forces with them, and we've learned a lot.
Appreciate you coming out today, because just on a drop of a dime. But, you know, what is your background? Where you're originally from? Like, you know, go back. Like, you know, your adolescence, when you're growing up.
Well, initially, I was born here, but my father was in the Marines. So we lived in California when I was still young. But my father figured out a way to get us back home. here in Hawaii through the Marines. And so we lived in Hilo. My father took recruiter's duty and lived in Hilo for a few years. And eventually, after his recruiter's duty was done, we eventually moved to the Marine base. There was an opening on the Marine base over here in Kauai. And then we ended up, after he got out, we ended up living in Kailua, and I've been there ever since. Of course, the struggle is always to try and stay on the windward side. My parents have since moved out to Waianae. My mom got her Hawaiian homes, and she lives out that side. So we still frequent the west side with the rest of my family all lives out that side. But as for me, I've always wanted to stay on the windward side, and it was a struggle, I ain't gonna lie, but we were able to pull it off. I lived in Kaneohe for a few years, bought ourselves a condo over there, and that in turn helped us get our home that we have now in Kailua. So been there, she's on the windward side for a long time. I lost count how many years.
So how did you get started in investing or like purchasing your first property? Like walk us through that process, because a lot of people are scared or intimidated, especially you buying something out of state from the get-go. A lot of people are worried about that. So maybe talk to us about, you being local here, investing out of state, and what made you comfortable with that.
So way we got our property is we worked with a financial educational program called 101 Financial. And we've got all our finances in order. And they also have a program called the Wealth Academy. And through the Wealth Academy, they work with a company called Done For You. And what that company does is they basically go out, they look for all the deals for you from Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, Indianapolis, Tennessee. They're just, far stretched out there. And basically all it was is they send you deals, and you either want to invest or you don't want to invest. We were, through the 101 Financial Program, we learned about HELOCs and how to utilize our home that we have in Kailua and to use the equity that we have in it to purchase this property. And that's how we acquired our first one. But going forward, like I said, we still want to invest here where it's closer to home. I mean, it was all in great that we got this place in Oklahoma, good price, and it's cash flowing already. Not big dollars, but it is cash flowing. Cash flow is cash flow, right? But again, we want to be able to invest here in our own home and be able to take care of it really by ourselves, because it being all the way in the mainland, we have a management company that takes care of it and all that kind of good stuff. But I ain't gonna lie, there was a few things on top of that bill that I feel I could have just taken care of myself. But of course, I'm not jumping on a plane to fly all the way to Oklahoma to fix it myself. So to have something here closer that, we could probably keep a closer eye on and manage ourselves is kind of a goal that we have for ourselves.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and that's what we teach in the Hui Mastermind, is how you can do it, invest in real estate locally, because a lot of people overlook certain strategies like house hacking or adding, tiny homes onto your properties, or even adding ADUs or turning your garage into a unit. It's not ideal, but that is a way that you can bring in extra income. And so what we focus on mainly is, new builds and build affordable housing on the Big Island. So kind of walk through your experience in the Hui Mastermind and how that kind of helped open up your eyes to the possibilities doing it here.
Okay. Well, going through the Hui Mastermind, we learned all the different ways of how to secure finances, to not only just use your own cash, where you can possibly use somebody else's one to acquire a property and possibly fix and flip. There's one strategy for yourself, or whether we could go in and keep and hopefully rent something that we can keep. I mean, again, there's all these different strategies that Zasha and them have gone over that helped us kind of get a better feel and a better idea of what direction we would want to go and how to get there. Everybody knows where the destination is at, but not everybody knows how to get there. So with Fuzzy and Zasha, they give you a good path of how to get there. And what's great about it is that you don't just get one path. There's multiple paths to get to what you want, where you want to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, so my experience when I met you, Kalani, was in Kailua. Me and Simoti was doing this one project. We demoed our old house, and then we start building. And you were the electrician on the job, so that's where we met. I mean, and this was when, you remember what year that was? 2000 and
I say 16,
17, yeah. And we kept in touch, all this time, and what was your experience like? Because our good friend is Simote, who's like the general contractor, and we hired you to do the work, and then what was your like experience just watching from the electrical side? Because there's you see the general contractor side, the plumber, what was your experience just on all the job sites basically that you've worked on with me and Simote?
Well, working with Fuzzy and Simote on projects, things have just flowed. Everybody gets their chance to come in, which is the one thing that you always look for. I hate when I got like 20 guys in the same spot. So it's nice that there's a flow. We're doing this. We're putting a foundation. Okay, do you need to get conduit in there? Yes. Okay, get the conduit in there. We all work together to get that done. Okay, now frame, put that thing up. Everything just flows and goes. And it was a great experience. Nobody crisscrossed each other. I felt like the flow of everything, as far as everybody getting their chance to get in to do their thing, especially on the finishing side, was perfect. So I thought it was awesome.
You see but on the I'm trying to go towards like the investment side, like seeing that other end. That did that give you more drive, to get involved with this? When did you guys start?
Well, the drive for me to get into it is actually Simote told me. So we were starting to get into the real estate field, and now we're kind of figuring out ways to do something with money. I mean, we knew we had all this equity. It's like, okay, what are we gonna do with it? And so that's when Simote is like, bro, go talk to Fuzzy. Bro. You've been doing this for years. And I was like, oh yeah? He's like, bro, how you think we've been doing this stuff? I was like, I don't know. He's like, bro, go talk to Fuzzy. So to see the other side and how Fuzzy gets the deals and sets things up for it is something else to behold. And I'm grateful for the opportunity.
It was fun to have you guys come on to the Hui Mastermind and learn all the different strategies and experience, walking through the potential fixer-upper, and then, of course, the brand new build, seeing what we're doing on the Big Island to bring back affordable housing for local families. Is always, puts a smile on my face to share it with other people that's interested in doing the same thing.
When I think a lot of people don't realize that, especially when it comes with education, you have to continuously be around other like-minded people in your community talking about it, and also educating yourself on different strategies, because you never know which one will work for you. Tell me a little bit about what happened today at the tax auction workshop that we held, and then how else we can potentially help you get to the next step on what you're looking to do.
I think the class today was pretty thorough. It's just a matter of putting it into action, like you guys said. We went over everything that you need to know, from not only the date, but the different properties and what you need to do as far as your due diligence for the properties. You might see a good price that you might want, but there might be some liens in the background that you didn't know about. So that's where the whole research comes in. I mean, you want to say, I want a property for $2,000, and then you got a lien for another $150,000 on the lens. They go, rah. But that's the things that we went over. And then we also got to hear from people who done it already, successful, got properties for the lower prices, and they're doing well with them. Whether they're going to be clearing lots to hopefully build houses for renting, again, giving people places to live, or, place for them to live themselves. So it was a great class to be a part of. and it gave us all aspects and I believe all avenues of how we need to go about this and be successful in it.
Awesome. So what is your next steps, or what do you have planned as far as real estate investing goes?
Well, obviously next week we're going to be on the Big Island, so we'll see if we can get one on that on next week Wednesday in Hilo. And again, we're still always actively looking on the Big Island for something that'll make sense as far as the numbers go, for hopefully a rental, putting ADUs, all that kind of good stuff to hopefully help, like Fuzzy says, get some local people houses. I understand on the Hilo side that they're strapped for houses, for rentals, and if we can be the ones that kind of help them get them off the street or wherever they need to be in life to hopefully make them successful, hey, I'm all for that. So that's what we're looking at.
Right on. So you thinking, what area? I mean, I know there's a bunch of areas that, at this auction. What area you think you was looking at to maybe possibly, put a bid on?
Well, I looked at a bunch of the HPPs. I like the Lava Zone 2 and 3s, a little more enticing. But your man had a good idea with the Zone 1.
Yep.
Putting those mobile homes on there just in case the Madame Pele shows up again. We can hook that thing up, yank it out, do your thing, come back, and put them right back where it needs to be. Such a great strategy. But that's what I was looking at. Hopefully, Lava Zone 2 and 3s. Man, that's all I really saw on the auction, really, that kind of caught my eye. There was a few over in the Captain Cook area, which were, big open lots, but that would be something we'd have to discuss with my wife and figure if that's something we should be bidding on. But, again, it's options, so.
So what's next in it for you guys? Going to start doing more stuff on Big Island instead of Oahu?
The plan is hopefully is yes, more things where we get more cash flow coming from the Big Island. That can in turn into something that we could possibly start doing more here on Oahu. Of course, everyone knows Oahu is just retardedly expensive. I mean, it's not only that; it's just I don't know. I hate to say it, but get too many people over here. But it is what it is,
true.
But we hopefully, in the future, I want to say maybe hopefully the next 5 to 10 years, we'll have our foothold here also, along with the Big Island. And I mean, a dream for me would be able to buy a place on Kauai and actually go live out my years on Kauai. It's beautiful.
And why is that? Like, I mean, a lot of people you notice love Kauai. Why is Kauai so beautiful?
Kauai is just a naturally beautiful place and mellow people. Everybody, it's just that mellow country vibe that's just is awesome to be a part of. I was over there working for about a year on an island. I told my wife when I came home, I was like, what, bro, I could live on Kauai. Kauai is so cool. It was just kind of nuts to come back home and then all the people you see on the road all together in a whole day on Kauai, you see in 5 minutes right on the freeway. So
super friendly.
Yeah.
A lot of mainly the locals too, right?
Yeah.
They give their shirt off their back.
Yeah.
If know the island.
Mm-hmm.
So if one thing you could share for newbies, one nugget, I guess I can say, that you could give them on starting their journey, or what you did that helped to push yourself into kicking yourself into gear to take action.
Well, I guess for me it's always been an educated move. Some people just say, I just jump in, which is, hey, for some people it works. That's cool. Right. You can do that. You go ahead. I not want to just jump off on cliff. I make sure I get water before I jump off.
Or parachute.
Or something. It's something I'm not going to land on rock under me. So for me, it was always just keep educating myself, working with my wife. she's always the one that just pretty much keeps everything in check. So, and for me, like I said, it was different for everybody. For me, it was like I said, getting the education, listening to Fuzzy and Zasha, and going to meetups, meeting people with like-minded mentalities, learning from them, and just always learning, and just always in the back of my mind learning something new, because in this industry there's a lot to learn. I mean, there's a lot to learn. You think you know it all, you don't. I mean, I've even heard stories of some of the great names who still go to meetups and learn something new. Guys that have been doing for like 20 years and still learn things. So for me, it's always like an educated move. Make sure that all my ducks are in line before I do it. And good luck to whatever you guys do.
Yeah.
So true. Well, and for a lot of people, and this is why I always tell them, they say, oh, where do I get started? I say it depends on your financial situation and your risk tolerance, right? Mm-hmm. Someone who's young, doesn't have any kids to worry about or a house or any major bills, they can take a lot of risks and more chances. But people with families and, other people depending on them, they really have to think through, okay, is this the right next step for my family? Because if it could potentially not be, it could put them in a worse situation than they are right now. So,
and that's mm-hmm. hitting the nail on the head right there, because for me, I had other mouths to feed besides mine. I've always said that, I could have did a whole bunch of other things if it was just me, because I can just fail. I know I can pick myself up, but when I got other people depending on me, I can't just say, screw it, and I can fail. No, I cannot fail. Mm-hmm. So, of course, that's where all my educated moves come in,
Gotta be smart.
Yeah. Like, what do you, like, watching videos or reading books, elaborate on that. Like, I mean, I know, like, you came through the Hui Mastermind and then taking courses, and then the one-on-one financials, I think, is a good way to, pay down your debt, right? Because my wife had debt when I met her, and then her friend was a coach, and then she went through one-on-one financial as well, and we took care of her debt, and then now we're in a different place, and then I didn't know they had another section like you were saying that they done for you. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and so I mean, of course, you read the book. Of course, the obvious one that everybody reads is Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I can't think of the other ones that I've read off the top of my head, but there was a few, and then also videos from YouTube, from Zasha guys, from Bigger Pockets, listening to podcasts, from all different aspects of the trade of real estate investing. Listening to tax things that have to do with real estate and how that whole thing, comes together in the whole grand scheme of everything. So I mean, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. No, I see you making moves, man. So yeah, definitely, and it's a plus that construction already with you being a licensed electrician. It definitely helps, and knowing someone like you as a investor myself is key, because like if I have questions, or you can come to, having a good relationship with you is good, because if I have problems at my projects or have questions, you can answer those. So you think that's key to be a key to have, like having a good team when you get involved with this business.
So when we're getting into that whole. It sounds like we're getting into that whole avenue of like renovating or the fix and flips and stuff like that. I mean, to have a team on that construction side that you can trust, that can do the job properly without having to do it twice, which is always key, especially when you have a timeline and you crunch for time. And then, of course, the other aspects of the whole thing, as far as, the taxes, knowing you have your lawyers, your real estate agents, title company, all that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of people just think that, you just jump into this, throw money in it, okay, next. No, there's a lot of other stuff. So again, that's for me, that's where the whole educational portion of it comes from me. You know, I don't want to just go over there and, oh yeah, I'm just going to fix and flip this one. Oh yeah, I want this. Okay, cool. What next? You know?
Yeah.
Or if I sell it and then all of a sudden Uncle Sam's knocking on my door. Oh yeah, you sold this house for this much. Hey, Roger that. Give me my $150,000 you owe me. What? So again, to me, in this whole thing, you know what I mean, you know, people, like I said, they just jump in and just go and just try to figure it out. Again, like Zasha said, I got other mouths to feed. So I can't just jump in there and just, you know, I want to make sure I have all my bases covered. And having a whole team, like Fuzzy just said, is key. You know, you don't want to get bit by something towards the end when you think you're doing well, and all of a sudden something comes from behind and bites you in the butt. So,
well, I think you go through less mistakes, right? Less humps in the road.
Oh well, that's where guys like you and Zasha, I mean, that's where that helpful advice you guys give comes into play, because you guys have made some of the mistakes. Kind of like having a mom or dad. You know, they're gonna tell you, don't do it like this, because why? Life experience, they've done it. They're gonna help you hopefully not make the same mistakes, which we're all grateful for. So thank you.
Well, and that's where I think accountability is key, because like you mentioned, we're going to tell you the things that you may not want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I've told students, like, do not buy this deal, and they bought it and lost money, and then, oh, I should have listened to you. I'm like, yep.
Well, you get some kids, you got to learn the hard way.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids that, you know, no, listen, I was one, but, you know, when I got involved with the real estate business and I got my coaches, like, shoot, I did everything they told me to do, and it panned out, like, and quickly too. So, you know, going from knowing a little bit about construction, so I ended up, you know, quitting my jobs and then going for work with Simote, and I was able to learn from him pretty quickly too on all the different trades that was coming in. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to know what the price points were so that I could save money as an investor side to be able to make it work and be profitable. Yeah. So I was learning from the coaches to talk to people that had the money and how to find the deals, and then working alongside with Simote to be able to learn the construction side. So it just all glued together. And when I met the developer on the Big Island, man, it just I went from here to just fast because of the knowledge and the people I put myself into, so in front of. So
yeah. And the thing about it is just, you know, guys like you, like Zasha, you guys aren't going to steer us wrong. I mean, we know you're going to point us in the right direction, and it's up to us to take that, I guess, advice to heart, whether we're going to use it or not. And like I said, some of us got to learn the hard way. I mean, if Fuzzy or Zasha tells me that's a bad deal, I'm going to believe them, because they've been doing it a lot longer than I have, been through the ins and outs of this whole thing. So you would have told me no, I would have been like, okay, cool, I'm out. You know, because like I said, I believe the both of you aren't here to just take our money and steer us in the wrong direction. You want us to succeed, and I really appreciate all that.
We appreciate you guys too. Like, you and your wife has been super awesome, and it was fun to have you guys on our, you know, who we Mastermind program. You know, now you came. You know, I really wish she came too, but it's okay. It's gonna have the recording, you know, so she can watch. But yeah, this new tax deed. I'm slowly gonna like shift everything over to like Simote to manage the ground, you know, the construction side for the brand new builds, and then focus more on the coaching with Zasha, and, you know, help more people, and then you know, learn buy more properties that at tax auctions in the States, and then bring that money back home to buy properties to
and build affordable housing.
Build affordable houses, and you know, put local families, as you know, into these homes that need, you know, rentals. So
what's one thing that you can leave, you know, those beginners with, who just keep getting educated, keep going to the classes, learning, but are still a little hesitant to take that next step?
Well, that's where I guess, I believe once you have enough education, at the end of the day, you still need to get in the ring. You know, I can learn to box all day. I can punch gloves. I can spar all day, but I'm not going to find out how good of a fighter I am until I get in there with an actual opponent. And let's see what happens. Did I learn everything right? If I learned everything correctly, I should knock this guy out. You know, and that's just a sports analogy of it all. Eventually, you don't want to burn yourself out just sitting there learning everything. Once you feel comfortable, of course, there's a risk tolerance, like Zasha said. But there is risk. And eventually, you're going to have to come out of that corner and get in there. So I would say, like I said, my moves are all educated. But at the same time, I'm not just sitting on the sideline. I'm in there. I'm in the ring. I got 1 round under my belt, hoping to get another 3 or 4 this year. We'll see. Hopefully with this tax deed next week. But again, you've got to get in there. You've got to get in there.
Right, taking action, right? That's one thing that if you don't take action, this knowledge is off or not. You pay money for education and, like college. Then if you don't take action with what you learn in college, most people end up,
just wasted $400,000.
And majority of people that do go to college, they're not using the degree. Well, you're not using them now, but you did though, right?
I did initially.
Yep, right.
And you could still use it today.
Right.
Yeah.
Still licensed.
There you go.
Yeah, so how we go from there? What we do now?
So thank you for being on the show. Where can people find you or contact you if they want to learn more about you?
My Instagram is shucks, I forgot my Instagram.
Let me look it up real quick.
Well, you can find me on Facebook. It's Kalani Poole. My Instagram is Uila or Kalani on Instagram. And yeah.
Well, mahalo for coming on, and
Thanks for having me.
hey, thank you for watching today on our podcast. We mahalo you guys for watching. If you guys want more information about tax deeds, tax liens, also want to learn real estate and you're brand new or even advanced, right here in Hawaii, like the like button over there, subscribe, and if you know that anyone that wants to learn, please share this with them, and we see you guys on the next one. Yes.